Thanks for joining us. I'm Beverly Thomson. Political power plays at work in Ottawa over the SNC Lavalin scandal and whether there was political interference in a criminal prosecution case involving SNC. Stunning testimony from the former Attorney General Jody Wilson-Raybould yesterday, denials today from the Prime Minister, and that is where we begin as we go behind the headlines with our panel. Joining me today is film critic and Pop Life host Richard Crouse, and joining from our Toronto studio is parent blogger Samantha Kemp-Jackson. Good to have you both to talk more about this. This story not only is not going away, but is getting bigger by the day. Let me begin with you, Sam, and ask you, in terms of what we heard yesterday in testimony, and also the response from the Prime Minister a couple times already, once yesterday, once today, in terms of their defense or denial.
I think that it's not looking very good for our Prime Minister. As much as I'd like to support him, I feel that Jody Wilson-Raybould was very credible. She had all of her facts. She had receipts. She had time. She had dates. She had text messages. She had meetings. And I believe she said that she had met and had spoken with people who were part of the PMO over 10 times. I think that she came across as extremely credible. And I think that Justin Trudeau is really going to have to explain his and his cabinet's behavior in response to her claims.
Yeah, and in a sense that, well, Richard, I mean, the Prime Minister is saying this is about the protection of jobs.
And in Quebec, where, all this trouble started brewing, jobs are a big deal, and this company is a big deal. So, I don't think, I'll be interested to see what the election results actually are on this, because I talk to people. I've just come from working at a talk news radio station, and of course there, it's all anyone's talking about. I'm finding it less so, though, when you step outside of media circles. People aren't coming up to me and saying, my God, have you heard? Have you heard the news? And so I wonder what the average person thinks about it. I mean, Twitter is ablaze with stories about this, but it's usually from people who call our Prime Minister true dope anyway. So, it seems like it's a huge deal, and it is a big deal. I'm not underplaying the seriousness of it. I just wonder how deeply this has gripped the average person.
Do you think we'll get to the bottom of it, Sam?
I think we eventually will get to the bottom of it. I think that obviously the opposition party and the NDP, they are not letting this go. This is a great opportunity for them, I would think, to dig deeper and to ask questions. And I understand that there's an ethics thing going with this. So I think that this isn't going to go away, and I think that we will get to the bottom of this. And I think that what we've heard yesterday is just the beginning and the tip of the iceberg. And I think there are going to be more stories and more details that are going to be very damaging for the Liberal Party.
Well, here's something that did go away, Richard. I'll ask you about this. There's a billboard campaign launched in Toronto yesterday, has since, my understanding, has been taken down. But the billboard campaign was spread across by a Toronto anti-vaccine group suggesting vaccines are risky and children don't need to get them. There was a lot of criticism about that. They've since been taken down, but there's no law against banning them. I mean, but people were saying right away, we don't allow tobacco advertising. Why this?
And I agree with that. I mean, I think that the idea of saying, question things, that's okay. But then to push people to a website that is filled with misinformation, that doesn't have the correct scientific stats on it, is essentially misadvertising. It's doing the wrong thing here and propagating an idea that is now having very real life consequences in places. There are measles outbreaks all over the place again. People are dying. Old people have to be careful. Seniors have to be careful. Young children, premature children who aren't old enough or may never be able to be vaccinated depend on the herd vaccinations. Everyone else has it, so I won't get it. And this is starting to fall down. So when you have ads like this appear that suggest otherwise, I don't think. I get it, all the free speech, I get all that stuff, but this is a very real, very concerning public health issue.
And in a bizarre twist, Sam, apparently, and there was a survey and some statistics out of the UK, that people are also taking it as far as their pets and their dogs, and they're not wanting to get them vaccinated because, and so the survey said, they're frightened that their dogs or their pets are going to be harmed by these vaccines, even get autism.
You know, this is indicative of how damaging a misinformation campaign can be, whether it's a political misinformation campaign, Bev, or if it's about science and vaccines. It has been proven many years ago that vaccines work, that the herd will keep us safe if we all vaccinate ourselves. This is not up for discussion. And now people are taking it to the nth degree and doing this with their pets, not getting them vaccinated. So that's going to be another snowball effect with other illnesses that are going to occur in animals and maybe in humans. I think it's highly irresponsible to allow people to spread misinformation. And as Richard said, it is great to ask questions and have a critical mind and have critical thinking capabilities and ask questions, but not for proven scientific facts.
Okay, so let me get your reaction to this before I let you go. So I guess breakfast is going to be the new happy hour in Toronto. So City Council has responded and now allowed restaurants to start selling alcohol after 9 a.m. The argument was on behalf of a lot of restaurateurs was you can buy it at 9, but we can't sell it if we want to have a brunch or a lunch. People can't have anything until after 11. What do you think of that, Richard?
I tended bar for a very long time, and it was 20 years ago, and there was absolutely no liquor before 11 o'clock.
Right.
And we would have lineups. We would have people coming in. Your bar would fill up at 11 o'clock because you know what? Some people work overnight and want to have a drink before they go home and sleep during the day. Some people have different schedules. And, 20 some odd years on from my bartending days, the world has changed even more. People are now living differently. Shift work, there's more of us, keeping different hours. And, it's arbitrary. You can have a drink at 11. Well, why can't you have a drink at 9?
A little mimosa with your brunch?
Mimosa with your brunch. I mean, go to London, go to Paris, go to New York. You can do it in all those cities. And I don't see drunken zombies weaving down the street at 10 a.m., trying to harass the patrons of the restaurants.
Sam, would you feel odd, though, sidling up to the bar at 9 o'clock saying, I don't know, set me up?
No, I wouldn't feel strange. I mean, I agree. I think that it's completely arbitrary in terms of what time it's determined that is okay to have a drink. Why 11? Why not 9? Why 12? Why not 8? As Richard said, we have people who are working shift work. We have a gig economy now where people are working around the clock and they're, plus we've got social media and people are online and they're awake at strange hours. You know what? Serve the alcohol. The people who are going to abuse it, we're going to abuse it anyway.
Yeah, true enough. Okay, we're going to have to leave it there, but I'm so thankful you were able to join us on this Thursday. We couldn't squeeze in yesterday, so I wanted to get you on and I appreciate it. Take care, guys.
Thank you.